My boyfriend went out with another girl after canceling the date we had planned. I'm writing because I don't know if I'm overreacting or not and I need advice. My boyfriend recently got a new job. Almost all of his coworkers are girls, and one in particular helped him get the job, and they've known each other for a couple years but have never really been friends. I've never met her and my boyfriend has maybe only mentioned her once or twice ever. On Friday, our state announced new lockdown mandates, so we decided to only have virtual dates moving forward. We had planned a Zoom date for Friday evening and I was looking forward to it since I couldn't see him in person. But a couple hours before our date he cancelled and said that instead, he was going out to a bar with his brother and the girl coworker previously mentioned. I told him I didn't think it was responsible to be going out to a bar when our COVID cases are breaking new records every day, but he said he'll be safe and that this was the last time he'd be able to go out for a while. I was frustrated he cancelled our date, and I was frustrated he was going out when earlier that same day we had both come to the conclusion we should quarantine for now. He then texted me saying that his brother couldn't go out with them but that he and his coworker would still be going by themselves. He asked if I was comfortable with this and I didn't say no, but I didn't say yes. I was mostly wondering why did he want to go so badly. He said he just wanted to go out for a drink and that they were friends. I spent the rest of the night distracting myself and staying off my phone until he texted me a couple hours later asking why I was upset and not talking to him when I had the opportunity to tell him I was uncomfortable with it beforehand. I understand I messed up here, but I just didn't know how to put my feelings into words and I didn't want to seem lame for asking him not to go. We got into a pretty big fight as a result and now I don't know what to do. Am I being unreasonable for not being comfortable with him getting drinks on a Friday night with another girl after he cancelled our Zoom date? Or is this my fault for not speaking when I had the chance and telling him I'm uncomfortable? I know this doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but I'm kind of at a crossroad here and I need advice. You feel like you were an afterthought. He cancelled you, for something better, and it turned out it was another girl. Be careful and watchful. How you're feeling is perfectly reasonable. It was disrespectful for him to cancel his date with his partner in favor of seeing other people. It was irresponsible of him to get one last night out in the middle of a pandemic before restrictions come into place, as that's the kind of idiotic behavior that worsens pandemics, and it's very suspicious that his brother mysteriously couldn't make it such that he was left alone with this other woman. He's a dumbass. You are definitely not overreacting. This is not okay for many reasons. COVID lockdown violations aside, did he even ask you to go out with all of them? Dude, sorry but your boyfriend sucks. That is completely reasonable to feel the way you do. Your boyfriend is either A, completely oblivious, B, completely stupid, or C, a complete douche. In my book, that is grounds for dismissal. My wife would have killed me if I did that when we were dating. FFs. Lol, he cancels a date with you and then wonders why you aren't talking to him all night. I didn't realize that canceling plans with someone still gave you the right to their time and attention. What an idiot. Yeah, he didn't want to go out one last time with you. Expects you to be super happy about it. Smells gaslighty. As an older person who has learned a lot about life, I'd end it. But it's hard to see things clearly while in the thick of it. You shouldn't have to tell your boyfriend that you are uncomfortable with him going out solo with a woman during a pandemic. It is known. I usually like playing devil's advocate and encouraging people to see the other point of view, but I'm afraid it's time to get a new boyfriend. This one is broken and quite frankly sucks. Very suspicious. You are not being unreasonable. For one thing, it would be ridiculous in itself if he went out to a bar with another male friend during this pandemic due to the risk. COVIDiot. Now it's ultra ridiculous to go with another female. Here is another thing. The plans were already in place. He announced to you that this was happening. Then his brother miraculously cancelled. And then he finally decided to ask if you were okay with this. Which put you on the spot and was a setup, I think. Had you said you were uncomfortable and he cancelled, it would have been obvious why he didn't go, and you would look like a biatch. If you said, yeah, go ahead, then it's like you can't complain because you said it was okay. I am not a fan of your boyfriend. And I would be willing to say it to his face. Why didn't you say no? Work on communicating how you feel and understand that passive aggressiveness will get you walked over forever. Stand up for yourself. Remember, with every question he asks and every problem that you overlook, you're teaching him what you'll accept and ultimately how to treat you. Don't like it? Speak up. Loudly. Wow. You are not a priority in his life. You deserve better than this guy. It should be a bare minimum to at least invite your girlfriend out on the weekend or at least go where she is to be together. If he can't meet the bare minimum requirements, you need to absolutely find someone else. He has a lot of nerve doing what he did to you, and he will probably act shocked and surprised when you break up with him. You have a typo in the title. I think you meant, ex-boyfriend. The brother was never invited, and if it was your last night on the town before lockdown, wouldn't you have wanted to spend it with him? The fact he spent it with another girl and not you should be a real eye-opener on how much you mean to him. Kinda sounds like he agreed to the quarantine to ensure you would be put up at home so he could keep you out of his weekend date plans with the work lady. You could have said no when he asked, and you would be gaslighted by him for being insecure, jealous GF. His brother was never invited to go to the bar. I feel like you're only going to get dump him responses, so here's something a little different. He was within his rights to cancel plans with you, and although I'd be annoyed, it's not really a deal breaker. Going out during COVID endangers him, not you, so while I would be upset, it's not your responsibility to ensure he is following protocols. He is allowed to hang with friends, male or female, and if you're not comfortable with it, then it's up to you to communicate that. You didn't, and then sulked and started an argument about it. Maybe you should start having a little more trust in your partner, and work on communication. It sucks that he did this, but to me, it doesn't sound as bad as I was expecting from just reading the title. Instead of him canceling you to go out with another girl purposely, it just sounds like your boyfriend wanted to go out no matter what before heavier restrictions kick in and he's unable to go to bars, period. Pros: he told you exactly what was happening. If he were doing something fishy, he would probably lie. But then again, IDK your BF, so you be the judge of that. Cons: he went out anyway. You should talk to him and tell him how his decision made you feel. Whether you suspect him of cheating or not, he still did put his health in danger by going out, as numbers are rising once again. Good luck. I think you should tell him you'd like to be introduced to his girlfriend, co-worker. Just tell him you'd love a new girlfriend. Gauge his response to that. If he's against it, etc., etc., if he needs time to think about it, you can also gauge that response. The fact that he took his last opportunity to go out for a while and used that on some random person instead of you speaks volumes. I would be incredibly upset about this too, and especially because it was a random female coworker. Almost seems like the brother may have never been involved at all and it was just an excuse to go out with her. But I could be paranoid, lol. IDK. Even if he's genuinely just friends with that girl, him cancelling on you so he could go spend time with someone other than you instead of going through with your Zoom date or suggesting to go out with you or going to see you, is a red flag and would make me feel like my partner doesn't give a fuck about me, tbh. Girl, get yourself a man that would put you as the first choice and never cancel plans on you for another person that isn't his own family. I mean, he went on a date. Just not with you. Those are grounds for being completely ghosted, emo. Unpopular opinion, but work life can be stressful as well as dealing with BGF relationship. Heading out for a drink with colleague could sometimes just mean more bitching time about work and get to know one another better. That's all, to understand one another, hence can work even better together. And on another note, he did ask you about it. So wasn't being total shady. And it was an agreement made to have 4 not 2 from the start. Perhaps instead of insisting and controlling whether he should go or not, I believe communicate well wins it all. Like, reason out why are you upset about it? Is it because he cancelled out on you? Or is it he's spending time with someone that rightfully was your get-together time? He asked you if you feel comfortable about him going out with a colleague, you said nothing. Do you really think a cheating man would ask if you feel comfortable with that idea? And now you're mad he went out anyways. I'm sorry, but you are overreacting. He did nothing. I am sure he was feeling bored at home and went out for some drinks since you seem to be quarantining and he can't go out with you. First off, how long have y'all been together? It might have been more of a last chance at physically socializing in a public setting, so he took up that option versus at home virtual date. I see this as more of a have one last public socializing before the lockdowns, and the coworker was just one of the other people there. Around here, out for drinks at a bar doesn't mean it is 1v1 the entire night or even half night. Was the option for you to join there as well, but either you made it obvious and or he knew you absolutely wasn't coming out because of COVID? He did nothing wrong. Virtual dates are literally worthless when it comes to social connection, at least that's how I feel about them. I'd cancel a virtual meeting for an actual one every time, no matter if it's a man or woman, girlfriend or brother, acquaintance or stranger. Trust your gut on this one. He chose to be with her instead of you. Did he offer you to go with him to bar? Your boyfriend cancelled his date with you to go out with another girl. I would seriously be reconsidering your relationship. Did you mean ex-boyfriend? Leave him. I would have spent time with my girlfriend if we're going to lock down again. Why did you tell me you didn't want me to cancel our plans to go on a date? He went on a date with someone else and I wouldn't be surprised if the other guy never existed in the plans. He put the blame on you, hun. It's your fault for not speaking up when he was planning to go on a date with another woman. This is what he has the balls to try and bullshit with. This isn't just a huge deal. It's a breakup deal. Also, you didn't mess up, you are being manipulated. Big difference. He prioritized a date with another girl over a date with you and wants you to be okay with it. He also risked his health for another girl after stating he'd rather not risk his health for you. Don't get me wrong. The Zoom date with you was the more responsible choice, but the point is that he prioritized with this other gal. And he keeps pushing on you. He knows he was wrong but desperately wants you to give him the okay. I would tell him he doesn't my permission to do whatever it is he wants to do, but now that you know where his priorities lie, you have something to think about. Seriously, I would just break up with him. This wasn't some dumb oversight or trivial issue. Things don't get better from this point. Seems like he's trying to see how far he can get away with things without him getting in trouble, so the next time he does it, he can say you had no qualms. Don't tolerate this. Drop him like a bad habit. Your boyfriend sounds like an asshole. Like you want to spend the last time you can go out. Cool, spend it with me, not a random girl. Okay. First off, you did not mess up. He did. He went out without you. He went out with another girl, not you. He cancelled a date or any planned time to be with you to go out with another girl. If he did not know this was not okay, if he had to ask permission, if he has to now ask for reasons and maybe apologize, then he knew what he was doing was wrong. Dump him. He pushed your Zoom date aside because he feels like he can have that anytime he wants. He then made her the priority. You have every right to be upset. He is not your boyfriend. I think overall this shows the character of your boyfriend, which just isn't all that great. Not exactly the same, but in my previous relationship I got into an accident in the middle of the ghetto at night, and when my boyfriend at the time found out I wasn't like near death, he still chose to go to a show with his coworkers. It was just one of the many things that displayed his shit-ass character, and no, we're not together anymore. This guy has some of those shit-ass selfish traits, keep an eye out. Your boyfriend sounds like an asshole. Like you want to spend the last time you can go out. Cool, spend it with me, not a random girl. He ditched you to go out with another woman. I don't see it as overreacting to be upset about that. How would he feel if you ditched him to go out on a date with someone else? I'd be willing to bet too if you bring it up he'll gaslight you. I think you need to be watchful, because I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow finds himself suddenly on more dates with this woman. Edit. Typos because I seriously cannot type today. Your boyfriend cancelled plans with you to go out with another woman. Your fear of seeming lame and overreacting are making you into a doormat. Pretty convenient his brother bailed. I call bullshit. Depends on his personality really. On the positive, he didn't do it in secret, so maybe it was just a friendly thing. On the negative, he completely disregarded you and your feelings. As the girlfriend you should take priority, ideally speaking. Talk to him and tell him that his actions bothered you. See what happens from there. If I were you I would be fuming, but it's honestly early to ring off the alarms. Wait a bit. This is hard because if you previously had solid trust in your relationship, that is already now tarnished. I know lots of others have already said this, but please be cautious. I would ask to meet the female coworker and see how your boyfriend introduces you. If he's being weird, then trust your gut and GTFO. I hope things play out okay for you. Sad face. The only thing he seems to be quarantining from is you. I wouldn't waste my time with him. It was mean and rude for him to have done this. But next time don't hesitate to say, no. Not your fault, but ladies needs to start speaking up and not hold back. Without communication this happens. And don't listen to the majority of these ladies. They're so quick to jump the bullet. Surprised no one said, leave him. dodge the bullet type of crap. For all you know, he really wanted to get out and have a beer, even though it was tasteless for him to do so. Due to COVID and the coworker. Y'all are good as long as you two communicate on this further. Don't listen to the bullshit comments that will make you feel like he's becoming unfaithful or creating deception. The brother was never invited. Total con job. Don't be the side chick.